thank you so much for sending me all of your sounds, noises from around your houses, your singing, your instruments, your vinyl records, your whatever you sent me. As you can see, I've organized everything sort of by category. All right, and there are 26 different instruments that I've created with this. So I've decided that this cannot be just like a one-time thing because there's way too much stuff to fit into just one track. So I'm going to be creating tracks and kind of picking and choosing what I'm going to use, and then I'll go through like this and sort of show you what's happening with all of that. You can see this is what I get to look at when I'm creating it. All right, the first thing is percussion, and so I took all the samples that were sort of alike and put them into these drum racks here, and that corresponds with notes on my keyboard, and then I can play them like this. So here's the barking, and then another dog. I would assume old, maybe. Anyway, here is Doug and Julie Olson sent me a recording of them doing a bike ride. So I cut all the little clicks and clacks and noises in it. Here's kind of the result you get. And I already processed this one because I was like, I wonder how this will work as a drum kit. So here's the whole thing. Just kind of repeats like that. It's only a couple bar loop. All right. And then Darsa sent me sounds of her and Dennis and Maya making coffee in the morning or in the afternoon, or, you know, whenever. She said they've been going through a lot of it. Hear different coffee sounds. If you notice, these have got little exclamation points right there on them because it was kick and snare. I won't play all of them for you, but that's kind of how it happens. And then I turned this one into a beat already as well. I don't know when I'm going to use it or how, but fun. All right, and then I think Jeff Gum sent me this one. It's of like outdoor, not outdoor, but like deep freeze, I think. Makes all kinds of squeaky noises. This one is miscellaneous. It's labeled that way because if there were only like one or two things that were sort of percussive in the sounds that you sent me, I just kind of put them all together. So there's a bunch of different stuff. Oop, you gotta play the right keys. Those first three are pretty low on the frequency spectrum, so you may not have heard those. Those are good. I really like the Loon sounds.
Ready?
The microphone.
Ready?
Yeah.
That's Bob and Thea Hauser.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
There's a couch. Laura Giuliano sent me that. That door hinge. That is a noise right there. All right, and then who sent me the squeaky door? It was Joyce Hoffman and her granddaughter Maya. They had a lot of fun doing this. Lots of that kind of stuff. They also sent me something. She like has a toy for making pom-poms or putting pom-poms on stuff. Made a bunch of these great clicking noises. I'm actually using that one in the first track that I started, so I'll show you that in a little bit. Both Sue Melcher and Barb Nish sent me Loon sounds, so I chopped both of their sounds up. Hey, we got some children walking down the stairs here, don't mind them. And making Mega Man noises. Here is... And then the idea with this is, like, I haven't practiced this, but you can sort of like make a rhythm with the different sounds. Something like that. Here are the other Loons. That's one of the once. It's like a boat or something passing by. You can hear the loon in the background. And then that's when I've shortened up and raised and pitched to kind of make a hi-hat. So you can just like play this. Oh, we're having pretend time downstairs. And we're going back upstairs now. Okay, this next one is gotta wait. We're mixing Harry Potter and Mega Man and Legend of Zelda and what else did I hear in that? Magic School Bus? Something. Anyway, lots of different cool stuff happening around the Roberts household. Here is one. I took one of the notes that a loon kind of sang or called or whatever you want to call it, and I turned it into an instrument that you can play. Here's what that sounds like. Pretty cool. All right. And then Chris Schnooker sent me some vinyl recordings, and what I did with these is I threw them into this instrument, and if you see where these little white lines are here, that's where a sample will start and end, and so you can play these little chops of songs. And if you go back to like the beginning of the like hip-hop era, this is kind of like the origins of sampling, is taking a song and like playing little bits of it in a different rhythm to create a beat that way. Oop, gotta put it on here, doo-da. So those are all the chops, and then you might do something like I don't know, something. I haven't played around with it enough yet to know what's happening with that. Then he sent me another one, a famous guitarist playing Sweet Lorraine. So of course what I did with that is took the piano chops out of it. And then he sent me one that's just talking.
You know how many classes of volcanoes there are? You know how many classes of volcanoes there are?
And then you can chop it up in different ways to make... here's one that I found.
You know why there are volcanoes?
I don't know. I gotta play with it more, but it's fun. And again, that's like very, very classic, like hip-hop way of arranging things. Oh, that mutes it when I'm playing Ableton, sorry. What I did with these is I took recordings that people sent me that had some like background noise or some like repetitive noise in it, and what you can do is boost certain frequencies in that noise to bring out a note in it. So what you hear here is the note of an air conditioner running with birdsong over it. It makes a really cool like organic sounding instrument. And then we got something rolling around the floor upstairs. This is Doug and Julie Olson, their bike ride. I believe the noise that's getting boosted in this is where the tire is actually rotating on the road. Birds in that one too. And then there were certain things that when Darcy sent me, she sent me a bunch of stuff of coffee. So there was some stuff where there was like noise, it probably was a grinder or something like that. But then I took a note out of that again, boosted certain frequencies in it so you could hear it as a note, and then put some extra fun effects on the end of it. This one, I think you'll hear it like last long after I quit playing the note. Hangs on for a while, and then here's the low one, makes some good like guitar-y bass noises. Then another another coffee thing where it's a short kind of plucky note. Not really plucky, sort of melody. All right, and then Jeff Gum's freezer lid that he sent me. I took one of like sort of the metallic bits out of it and made it into a short note. It sounds like this. Very cool. He also sent me an exhaust of some sort. So here is that same process applied on like a car exhaust or some sort of exhaust. That one's kind of fun. Noisier than the others, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so here we have, oh, I've mislabeled this. It's the singing bowl. Barb Nish sent me some samples of her singing bowl, which I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it makes a beautiful sound. And there's one she sent me where she played the same note 10 different times, and you can see that because it's singing bowl 1, singing bowl 2 in this. And if we go to velocity here, which just is how loud or quiet a note is, based on how fast or slow you play the note on a keyboard, which is essentially what controls volume in a digital sense. I took her the quietest sample, or the quietest time she played the bell, and I put it in the lowest position, and then so on and so forth with the next quietest, the next quietest, the next loudest, the next loudest, the next loudest. And so what this does is it plays a different sample at every different velocity or every different loudness level, and it gives it a very human feeling because the samples end up getting round robined, is how they put it in sort of digital sampling, that it's not the same sample every time, and that gives it a really human feel, which is kind of weird to call it that because it's humans playing other humans' sounds, but when you throw things through a computer, it can start to sound weird or like machine gunny if you have the same sound over and over and over and over again. That's not percussion. Your ear picks up on that really quickly, and you think it's weird because we as humans are imperfect, and so if music is actually perfect, you hear it as being strange. So that was kind of fun to do. Oh, let me play it for you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sounding instrument. Okay, and then here's my favorite one, just by far, the choir. It's everyone who sent me a note getting put through their own instrument, which looks like here, I'll go to mine, which is number 5. Their own instrument, which looks like this, and it loops back so the note can last forever. And then if you notice here, this right here is middle C on the keyboard, and so some people live in the lower register and some people live in the higher register. And then you'll notice UC down here. UC is a plugin as an instrument, modeled after the famous UC Bjorling, who was a famous tenor. And what I'm doing with this is I added it to the top end. If you notice here, anything this side of the blue line here, we're not hearing. So it's just this very top end. And everybody's noise from their recordings, and it's unavoidable. If you're out in the world, unless you're in like a totally treated room, it's totally unavoidable. But here's where your noise lives in your recording. So I cut that out of everybody's recording, but it sounds weird without it. So I used this plugin that emulates somebody singing to add it back in. So it's everybody plus our good friend UC in the choir. And I think this is going to be a little too quiet. So let me go get a thing, put it on here, turn it up just a little bit. All right, and I'm going to play this for you. And I've actually got a hymn that I'm going to play for you on it. you'll notice that there's like a weird crackling in that. That's not actually part of anybody's sample. That's my computer going, oh no, I can't quite handle it. I've got 26 instruments on here with lots of different processing. And this one instrument is made up of 19 different instruments. So it's a little hard, even on my beast of a computer, to do that and do the video capture at the same time. So the crackling you won't hear, but I still think it sounds gorgeous. Thank you to anybody who recorded a note for me. It is beautiful. Okay, let me show you the one I've gotten started working on. A little transition here. I'll have to edit out. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just make you sit here with me. Okay. Here is the beginnings of something. As you can see, it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 bars long. So going back to Maya and Joyce's pom-pom making thing, here, let me take this stuff off of it. Okay. All right. So all the little clickies and clackies sound like this. Kind of a cool, like, loose, fun rhythm. But if I do this, took some of the noise out of the bottom here. Oh, here. Took some of the noise out of the bottom, so anything after this blue line is out. Put a resonator on it, when what this does is just gives it some pitch, and then these are kind of special sauce to make it sound a little better. It sounds like this. So like a little guitar made out of pom-pom toy maker thing. Very cool, I think. All right. And then here our drums are. It's Jeff Gum's freezer lid. Oh, let me take that off. It kind of sounds like this in isolation, but together. Now, here's one that I didn't show you before because I've got these samples over here that are sort of like ambience and noise that I haven't processed yet, that I'm planning to use every single one of these. But I took the cat purring. Lisa Streffler sent me a cat. I put it in this wavetable. No, I don't know where Mommy is. I'm sorry. And I turned the cat purr into a bass. So it sounds like this. And then this here is like the cat, what a cat purr and like somebody scratching him sounds like, or like the visual representation of that. So it's like synthesizing that and sliding it through those things. All right, so this is the beginning of the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to do several of these. So if you have sounds that you haven't sent me that you think, oh, I wonder what he'll do with those, send them my way. If you want to become part of the choir, I'll just put you in there, figure out where your voice works, tune you up. You'll fit right in. Thank you everybody who sent me stuff. I hope this is kind of fun for you to get to see what I'm doing with it. I'm going to do one of these every time I make one. So this was the initial one saying, this is all the stuff I've made. Here's my start. And then you'll see this project when I've got it all said and done. So thank you. We'll see you next time.